Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by the following: IU Health Southern Indiana physicians, primary care and specialty care providers now accepting new patients in Bloomington and throughout South Central Indiana. siphysicians.org, IU Center for Applied Cybersecurity Research, working to improve cybersecurity and provide policy guidance through partnerships with industry, government, and academia.
Smithville Fiber, the Gigacity Company, fiber internet, HD, and digital IPTV in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com.
And by WTIU members. Thank you.
Coming up on Indiana Newsdesk. Workers on the I-69 project haven't been getting paid for months, and this week some of them walked off the job.
We're doing our part. Let's get the people up higher up doing their part and putting these people back to work.
How long will traffic jams continue, and when will the road be finished? Ahead, we put those questions to officials. Plus, residents in East Chicago have more questions than answers after the EPA notified them of seriously high levels of lead contamination in their soil.
And we used to see them when they dumped those 55-gallon barrels along the railroad tracks. And they would bulldoze them over.
Coming up, we visit some of the hardest hit areas and ask why only now are people being told the extent of the problem. Those stories, plus the latest news headlines from across the state, right now on Indiana Newsdesk.
Welcome to Indiana Newsdesk. I'm Joe Wren. Well, questions are swirling about the future of I-69 after the private developer responsible for construction on Section 5 once again failed to pay the subcontractors it hired to build the interstate. Workers with Bloomington-based Kreider & Kreider walked off the job this week because I-69 Development Partners owes the company more than $2.3 million. The Indiana Finance Authority put the developer on notice this week. But as Barbara Brozier reports, local leaders want the state to do more.
The presence of orange barrels on this stretch of State Road 37 is as constant as the traffic.
Right now, all they're doing is causing delays and making people very angry.
Construction on this section of I-69 from Bloomington to Martinsville started in 2014 and was supposed to wrap up next month. But ongoing problems with weather, contract disputes, and payment to subcontractors has many wondering if the project will meet its new target completion date of June 2017.
In a project that was to have been completed within the next month, we now face, it seems, at least another year of construction, perhaps significantly longer.
Construction equipment along some stretches of the future interstate sits idle after subcontractor Kreider & Kreider walked off the job this week. The city of Bloomington says it's the third time in the past year a pay dispute halted work.
These people have bills to pay. They can't pay their bills if they're not working.
According to the Indiana Finance Authority, other subcontractors are threatening to walk off the job too. The IFA estimates the developer of Section 5, I-69 Development Partners, owes subcontractors more than $9 million total. It wrote a letter to the development partners this week to try and remedy the situation, demanding payment to subcontractors. But some say the public-private partnership simply isn't working.
This entire process of injecting a private company into what is normally a state public works project has been very opaque. It's not been transparent.
I-69 Development Partners entered into an agreement with the state to design, build, and maintain I-69 Section 5. Back in July, credit ratings agency Fitch Ratings downgraded the private activity bonds the IFA issued on behalf of I-69 Development Partners to junk. It cited the deteriorating quality of the company's credit, as well as the projected 8-month delay in Section 5 completion.
In July, the bond agency that rates those bonds said, unless we see significant enhancement and increase of pace of activity in August and September on this project, we do not see how they possibly can meet the June 2017 deadline.
That's why local leaders are calling on the state to step in and ensure the project is completed on time. They want the state to pay subcontractors so work can move forward on Section 5. Because as equipment along the future interstate sits idle, frustrations are mounting.
I've got a question for Mike Pence, who's running around trying to be Vice President of the United States. If you can't step in and help out the people of your own state, how in the world are you going to be expected to step in to help the people in 50 states?
Spokesperson for Governor Mike Pence, Kara Brooks, said in a statement, the state of Indiana is holding its contractors and developers accountable. Any accusations to the contrary are just a sad attempt to score political points. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Barbara Brozier.
Isolex Corson, the parent company of I-69 Development Partners, says in a statement it blames the state for construction delays. It says it notified the IFA of 10 different geological and permitting issues and requested extra money and time for the project. The company says that impacts its cash flow and ability to pay subcontractors. Isolex Corson says for the IFA to issue a notice of non-performance while denying valid claims is misleading and unfair. So Barbara Brozier joins us now. She's been reporting on this all week to talk more about this ongoing dispute. You know, this is the big question. When is this road going to be done?
Everyone who drives that road wants to know that. And INDOT does say, Joe, that the road will be completed in June of 2017, which is on schedule. However, that was not the original deadline. The original deadline was actually next month. Now, John Hamilton, he mentioned in that story we just saw that the credit ratings agency that downgraded some bonds has some worries itself about whether that completion date will be met. It said that, hey, they need to pick up the pace in August and September in order for us to hit the June 2017 deadline. And Hamilton's worried with this pay dispute that simply won't happen.
So now if the developer doesn't pay the subcontractors in that 30 days, what happens next?
Well, that would result in what's called a developer default. And there are several different actions the state could take in that instance. But one thing they could do is take this project over and make sure that Section 5 does move along smoothly and does get complete. But the IFA did say in a statement this week that calls like the ones John Hamilton and Matt Pierce are making to take this project back over are premature because there are other subcontractors still working on the project.
And we keep hearing about the public-private partnerships. Is there a precedent for this, and how has that ended before?
Well, a lot of people, it's a slightly different partnership, but a lot of people think back to this toll road bankruptcy that happened 2 years ago. That was different because it was a lease agreement. The company paid $3.8 million to lease the road, and it eventually went bankrupt. There's now a new private company that has taken the toll road over in northern Indiana, and they have put millions of dollars into improvements in that roadway.
So now when could Kreider and Kreider get back to work? Will motorists start seeing people out there working again?
You know, we called Kreider and Kreider a couple times this week, and it's a sensitive issue for them. We did not hear back from them, but Mayor John Hamilton says they won't get back out there until they get payments. It's over $2.3 million so far that we know of, and they're not going to start working until they get it.
All right, thank you very much, Barbara. The Monroe County School Corporation is one of several throughout the state that will ask voters to pay more in property taxes to support schools. As J.D. Gray reports, the corporation kicked off its campaign this week.
The Monroe County School Corporation is seeking an additional $7.5 million in annual operating expenses through a November referendum.
We have referendum money coming on now. We are not asking for an increase. It's just a continuation, actually a little less. So it'll really help us in our education of the kids.
It is a rate of 11.5 cents per $100 of assessed property. That's nearly 3 cents less than the 2010 referendum. Community members wore shirts at a rally this week that conveyed the corporation's message: strong schools, strong community.
We are here to support and start the campaign for our continuing referendum.
The referendum would support more than 80 staff members inside and outside of the classroom. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm J.D. Gray.
If the referendum doesn't pass in November, the MCCSC school board will have to make cuts to close the gap. Now for headlines, we go over to Barbara Brozier, who has the latest on this week's top stories.
Thanks, Joe. Mike Pence says he sees Ronald Reagan in Donald Trump. The Republican vice presidential nominee says that Trump, like Reagan before him, has the honesty and bluntness to confront the challenges facing the country. Pence says Trump wants to build a stronger military, cut taxes, and reduce regulation, foundation blocks of the Reagan agenda. He adds that Trump shares Reagan's view that America needs to be strong for the world to be safe, and they also have similar views on appointing conservative justices to the Supreme Court. About 150 Syrian refugees have arrived in Indiana since March. Governor Mike Pence issued an order in December blocking state agencies from offering resettlement assistance to refugees, citing security concerns. A federal judge decided Indiana can't block the refugees from coming to the state after a lawsuit was filed against the state by the ACLU, an Indianapolis-based Exodus Refugee Immigration. The state is appealing the court's decision and will appear before a federal appeals court next week in an attempt to have the judge's decision overturned. The Indiana Supreme Court has adopted a new rule aimed at easing jail overcrowding. The executive director of the Indiana Public Defenders Council says 70% of people in jail are simply awaiting trial. 9 selected counties will use evidence-based risk assessments for pretrial release and create a monitoring system to make sure defendants awaiting trial show up for court. The program will go statewide in January 2018. The Bloomington Human Rights Commission says 14 hate incidents were reported between July 2015 and June of this year. That's 6 incidents more since the last report. The reported hate incidents include vandalism, verbal harassment, and physical threats. According to the report, racial bias and bias against LGBT individuals played a role in the apparent motivations for the incidents.
We had, I think, 14 incidents reported, 5 of them people were intoxicated, and I think that maybe is the biggest factor. People, their barriers are down, they're more outspoken than they would be otherwise, and they say really stupid, hurtful things.
McKinney says although the number of incidents is up in the last few years, it's typical for that number to fluctuate. 2 new studies have found that tobacco and opioid addictions cost Indiana more than $8.2 billion a year. The studies determined the toll from tobacco alone comes to $6.8 billion, taking into account health care costs, deaths incurred from secondhand smoke, and lost productivity due to smoking on the job. The studies also found that opioid overdose deaths also cost the state $1.4 billion in 2014. More than 1,000 people died of opioid overdoses that year, and tobacco was the cause of more than 10 times that number of deaths. The U.S. Small Business Administration has approved low-interest disaster loans for tornado-stricken Howard County. Cass, Carroll, Clinton, Tipton, Grant, and Miami counties also qualify for the loans. Residents, businesses, and certain nonprofits are eligible. An EF3 tornado damaged at least 1,000 homes and businesses in Kokomo last month. A historic Paoli Bridge that collapsed under the weight of a semi on Christmas Day could be fixed by late spring. The president of the Orange County Commissioners says the county is waiting on a bid for the repairs. He's hopeful the project will cost less than $1 million. The county is considering adding height clearance bars to the bridge's entrances to deter large trucks from trying to cross it. The bridge collapsed when a semi-driver drove onto it with a load weighing nearly 6 times the posted limit. State regulators are giving central Indiana residents who live in the 317 telephone area code another month before they must begin using 10 digits when dialing. The Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission has moved the mandatory start date to October 15th. The commission says it made the move after the Electronic Security Association informed regulators that some home and business security alarm companies were behind in preparing for 10-digit dialing. The Indiana State Board of Education decided to delay any action against a chronically failing online school until the end of the year. For the past 5 years, Hoosier Virtual Academy has consistently received an F grade in the state's A through F ranking, largely due to low scores on state I-STEP tests. Another charter school has been proposed to take its place by the same authorizer, Ball State. The Insight School of Indiana has a separate charter, separate leadership, and more support for students' social emotional needs. The for-profit college chain ITT Educational Services is shutting down its campuses days after the U.S. Department of Education banned it from enrolling new students who use federal financial aid. The company is based in Carmel. ITT operates more than 130 campuses across 38 states. The decision will impact thousands of students and employees. 2 employees have already filed a lawsuit claiming ITT Tech violated federal law by not providing 60 days notice. A proposed agreement between Indiana University and fraternities stating when police officers are allowed into the Greek buildings is now updated. Students were concerned the original version did not reflect their constitutional rights. The new document says IU police officers can enter only if they believe laws are being broken, and taking time to get a warrant would endanger the health and safety of residents.
We amended that language to make it very clear that we are not violating the Fourth Amendment rights. We want to protect their rights, and it's important for us to do that, and it's important that that be reflected in the contract.
Sororities and fraternities now have 3 weeks to review the document before it's due back to the university on September 30th. Groups that do not sign the agreement will lose student organization status. And Joe, it'll be interesting to see if these Greek organizations are satisfied.
Naturally. Thank you very much, Barbara. Coming up next on Indiana Newsdesk, we visit East Chicago, where apartments are being torn down due to exceptionally high levels of lead in the dirt. We'll meet the residents and talk to them about their exposure to the dangerous element. And we'll look forward to this weekend and what we can expect to see on the football field Saturday. These stories and more right here on Indiana Newsdesk.
I can change the world with my own 2 hands, make it a better place with my own 2 hands. I'm gonna make it a brighter place with my own 2 hands. I'm gonna help the human race with my own 2 hands. I can hold you in my own 2 hands, and I can comfort you with my own 2 hands, with my own 2 hands.
Welcome back to Indiana Newsdesk. East Chicago is dealing with a serious contamination of lead in its soil. It's been steadily getting worse for decades. The EPA notified people this summer that contamination had reached dangerous levels. And as Claire McInerney reports, that's raising more questions that no one seems able to answer.
Byron Duke Florence was born in East Chicago, Indiana. And although he's lived in other places, he always returned back to the town he considers home. He now owns the house he grew up in. He thought he'd live here for a long time, but recently that changed.
Did I prepare to get up and go? No, but I'm willing to have left yesterday.
The Environmental Protection Agency recently deemed the soil in his neighborhood dangerous after finding high levels of lead and arsenic in the soil. It's something they've been monitoring for 20 years now. The news frightens Florence as he remembers being a kid in the neighborhood 50 years ago, when one of his favorite activities with his friends was digging tunnels under neighborhood fences near the lead plants.
And we used to see them when they dumped those 55-gallon barrels along the railroad tracks. And they would bulldoze them over. And we would go right behind them and try to dig them up and poke holes in the barrels, watching stuff come up. I mean, it was, you know, our exposure was direct, plain and simple. We tracked that stuff back in our houses.
East Chicago used to be home to the USS Lead facility, as well as other smelters and refineries, which operated in the town for decades. Through air emissions from the factories and burying waste products, which is a legally allowed disposal method, lead can get into the soil, contaminating it. Lead contamination is measured in parts per million. That's 1 part lead for every million parts soil. Or think of it this way. 1 part per million is a single needle in a 1-ton stack of hay. The EPA allows lead levels in the soil around residential areas to reach 400 parts per million. In East Chicago, lead levels have been measured as high as 45,000 parts per million in the top 6 inches of soil. The worst of the contamination is in the Calumet neighborhood, where Florence lives. The EPA has divided the contamination into 3 zones. Zone 1, which houses Carrie Gosh Elementary School and an apartment complex, is the most contaminated spot. The mayor of East Chicago, Anthony Copeland, ordered the West Calumet housing complex to be demolished, so more than 1,000 people will be displaced. The elementary school also moved all of its students into an abandoned middle school for the year.
If you do something like this to a community of people, devalue their lives like this, then you're going to be punished. And we don't want to see it happen again.
Senator Lonnie Randolph represents East Chicago in the state Senate and grew up in the Calumet neighborhood. He is trying to work with residents as well as state and federal agencies to make sure people are getting enough information. But he says right now there is a lot of confusion and a lot of concerns about what living on lead for years means.
You got a lot of families that's there who are saying that, hey, I've got 3 kids, and I remember when Bobby had a cold and so-and-so had a flu, and Jimmy was vomiting all the time, and Johnny was hyperactive in school. Hey, I never knew what it was. The doctors couldn't tell me. Maybe it was this lead.
And the unknown health effects of long-term lead exposure also concerns Florence. After living in the Calumet neighborhood for most of his 64 years, he got blood tested for the first time recently. He's waiting for the results. He thinks about how over the years he's been diagnosed with high blood pressure, diabetes, and is in remission from bone cancer. A question he and many residents are asking, did the lead cause this? For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Claire McInerney.
And Claire McInerney joins us now for more. Claire, you were up there. Yeah. And so the question is, why is this such a big deal in this community now when the EPA has known about this for years?
Right, so they have been monitoring it for decades, and they knew that it was contaminated. And in 2009, they deemed it a Superfund site, which means the EPA would start putting resources to clean it up. But I think it's just gotten steadily worse since then. And a few months ago, the EPA started notifying families that your home is on very contaminated soil. We're going to be there cleaning up. And so they were scared to send their kids to the school. So the school decided to move. Then the mayor decided to tear down that complex. And I think that all raised these huge concerns about what was going on.
So you mentioned in the story that these zones that the EPA designated. What do those zones mean?
So it's important to know that all 3 zones have very dangerous soil. It's very contaminated. Zone 1 is the worst, and that's where the school was and this housing complex was. And it's getting cleaned, but the people who live there that are being displaced are receiving federal money to move. So that's the worst area. Zone 3 is also being cleaned up. Zone 2 is kind of tricky because nothing is happening to the soil there because the EPA isn't able to prove what company contaminated it. So they can't figure out who to charge for the cleanup. So right now, the people who live in Zone 2, including Byron, who was in my package, is getting no money to help move and just has to sit tight. And they all feel very trapped, the people who live in Zone 2.
So when you say they're cleaning up right now, what does that mean, they're cleaning up?
You know, I'm not quite sure, but when I was there, we saw EPA officials all over this neighborhood, and they're digging and they're putting things in bags to test how bad it is. And I think, you know, once the housing complex is destroyed, they'll go through and just really go, you know, do their processes to figure out how to make this livable again.
We have about 30 seconds. You said a school located there is contaminated. What's happening to the school and the kids that are there?
So they were moved to this abandoned middle school, which structurally isn't correct for elementary school kids. So the state has given them $3 million in a loan to do some construction and make the school more like lower toilets, lower counters, and things like that. But it is disruptive to education, so it's not a great situation for those kids.
All right, more to come, I assume. Thank you very much, Claire.
Thanks.
Well, the Indiana Hoosiers open up their home schedule with Ball State Saturday afternoon. The Hoosiers are coming off a 34-13 win over Florida International last week. Head coach Kevin Wilson says the team played hard, but has a ways to go before being a physical Big Ten team. Indiana has won 8 of its last 9 regular season non-conference games. Now, IU Athletics will recognize the 2016 Rio Olympics IU athletes and coaches during the game. Athletic officials, though, are also warning motorists to arrive early due to road construction, of course, on Indiana 37. Kickoff is set for 4 p.m. And the Bicentennial Torch Relay begins Friday in the state's first capital city, Corydon. The relay is a way to celebrate the 200th anniversary of Indiana statehood, but we have another birthday in the house too. The Indiana State Park System is also celebrating its 100th birthday this year. Some state parks are offering free admission on the day that the torch passes through on its trip throughout the state. This weekend you can catch the torch in Lincoln State Park. That's the end of this program, but our work continues online as we cover the news throughout the week at WTIUnews.org. Have a great weekend.
Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by the following: IU Health Southern Indiana physicians, primary care and specialty care providers now accepting new patients in Bloomington and throughout South Central Indiana. SIphysicians.org, IU Center for Applied Cybersecurity Research, working to improve cybersecurity and provide policy guidance through partnerships with industry, government, and academia.
Smithville Fiber, the Gigacity Company, fiber internet, HD, and digital IPTV in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com.
And by WTIU members. Thank you.